This is the final reflection for Levi Young. Just wanted to address the final reflections for the class. One of the things it asked us to do was look at the principles of kind of master teachers from the book. The principle that I think I'm doing one of the best on that I can still improve on, but I think I'm doing better than all the other principles would be supports the students along the way. That's where essentially you proactively plan to support and catch students before they fall. And I didn't always do a good job of this, but I feel like in the last couple of years I've grown in doing better at this. I did have what they in the book called the curse of knowledge. That said that it was penned by the Heath brothers. That stated that once you understand something, you forget what it's like not to know it. And I think from teaching almost 20 years now, it's just hard for me to remember not knowing a lot of the knowledge. I have so much knowledge that I've forgotten, but I know so much about the subject that it's hard to come back to that level. But I feel like I've been doing better at that in the last couple of years, is really teaching, really trying to help kids at a level where I'm trying to remember what I didn't know. What I mean by that is being proactive with interventions is I give redos for my essays as far as I have them redo them. And so I used to pretty much give an essay and then I'd grade it, and then I'd move on to the next essay, but I wouldn't let them redo their essay to grade it. And I kind of build that in that where, hey, they can, redo the essay. That's part of their grade, is to fix their problems. And they still can get the full credit for that. And so it's not so much after they failed. Well, they failed in some ways, but they still have opportunities to fix those things before they get a failing grade. So that's something I do. Also incorporate GIM kits, like the review game. I give them an opportunity to go over the material again and again and to earn points by doing that before they take the exams, just to brush up on all the information that's there. I have a common mistake list for projects. And so we go over here. These are the common mistake lists that people make before they turn in the project. And I go over those and stress not to make these same mistakes. I also give good and bad examples. So I'll give a bad example of a project, and then I'll give a good example. A lot of times I would just give good examples, but sometimes showing what a bad example looks like prevents students from making the same mistake. So I'll usually give an F grade assignment and then an A grade assignment and have them kind of talk through the differences that were there. I do test corrections, and I think that's, they might have failed in some areas, but they might have missed something. I always get students who miss something on tests that they should have known. And so I don't necessarily assume that's a fail. It's just they were rushing, they did something too quick, or they didn't connect something in the question, but they get an opportunity to go back and to fix some of those things. And so I think those kind of help students before they fail, or before they get a failing grade to do better. And I can always do better in that area, but I think I'm doing, out of the principles, the best. The one that I'm not doing as good on is quality rather than quantity. I think it was principle number 6. I think especially teaching AP, I felt like I've got to give them a lot of work and keep them always busy doing stuff. And sometimes I do give busy work, or I give them assignments like sitting with the essays. I'll give them work because thought, hey, if I'm going to teach them how to write, they just got to write and write and write and write. But I didn't do kind of one of the principles they talked about in there was, kind of just chunking is like, hey, work on the thesis statement until they get the thesis statement right, then work on the conclusion or work on the body paragraph, instead of giving them an essay and then they're not doing well on it and then give them another essay, not doing well on it. And I found that just giving feedback, a lot of times they never had time to fix it. And I still give a lot of quantity, but not as much quality. So I'm going to be working on, just breaking down assignments and just the less is more, having them do really well on some assignments or really learn how to write a really good essay before I give them so many and I don't grade it. Because the example she gave in the book, I think Robin Jackson talked about just giving work and then staying up all weekend trying to grade it and going back, and then kids just throwing it in the trash after you've spent all this time giving feedback and they didn't do anything with it because you're moving on to the next essay. They keep making the same mistakes. They don't get better. I've seen that more and more with my own. So those are some of the steps, and I'm running out of time, but I'm going to try some of those suggestions that she put in the chapter, to try to overcome those obstacles and just working with, just breaking things down and then just trying to get them to finish a whole assignment. But it might take me a month, but just work on different aspects of that assignment to get that finished. But that's my 5 minutes, and hopefully I can become a master teacher one day. Thank you, and thank you for the course.